And Blue makes a great point.
I try on occasion.
Blind squirrel gets a nut.
Yep.
No, seriously, when I was listening to the press conference that was given, first started by President Trump, then it was handed off to Pete Hegseth, who then handed it off to General, was it Kane? Yeah.
Yep.
And then General Kane finished his remarks and handed the mic off to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. It seemed like all of them made reference to this was a joint military and law enforcement engagement. And it struck me as curious. But what do you mean law enforcement? This is a military engagement. And then it comes out that the military had with them FBI agents who were going to be the ones who actually did the physical apprehension of Maduro to enforce and to secure the person for whom an indictment had been handed down. So it was a law enforcement cooperation along with the military, because you can say, well, that just, it's semantics. It's this, it's that. Well, semantics actually mean something. When you enter into the legal realm, which is what we're talking about. Again, whether it should have been done, how it should have been done, what the ramifications are of all this stuff, how this plays out, that's not what we're here to talk about. And believe me, I went down several rabbit holes myself about
we did
what's going to happen
this
next. What does this mean? What does this mean not only for Venezuela? What does it mean for the United States? What does this mean globally? There are tentacles everywhere. Forget as much as you can. We need to forget that for this purpose of this podcast, because we're just talking about the legal bases, if any, for X, Y, and Z. And for here, based upon the federal case law, based upon the operation that was done in 1989 into 1990 by President H.W. Bush, and more importantly, with regard to the Article 2 powers, this appears to be on legal and constitutional grounds. Now, people may not like this. That's different. As Lou says, we're not talking about whether you like it, whether it shocked you, whether, it revolts you. It is what it is, the sausage that was made.
And the other thing that, as part of our looking into this and doing the research on this and making sure that we're providing good law and good information, that there's a lot of different, resources that we'll have here. One of the other things that also I think is important is that, going back again to the Noriega case, where you had an actual Office of Legal Counsel. So this is like the Department of Justice, Office of Legal Counsel, whose sole job is to provide the president with legal consultation and legal advice on certain actions. That there was a memo that was written, back in 1989 regarding the legality of this. And the decision came forth as saying, and they discussed the War Powers Act, and they discussed Article 2, Section 8 powers and everything else. And the decision at that time in this memo is that this is something that is an act short of war, and as such did not need prior congressional authorization. And the concerns were at that time that there were other elements within the political bodies that they were concerned had connections to Central America and to Panama. And those same claims are also being brought up at this point as well, whether or not that actually is true. But that is something that is, that was brought up, is that there are other concerns where if we came forward to Congress, that it would have been rendered moot because this Maduro would have found out, and that as such, we needed to act now in the national security aspect under our own authority, Article 2, Section 8 authority. And that's exactly what this legal counsel memo came out with. And that has never been challenged or revised since 1989. So you've had 4 different administrations that had the ability to address this and change this, and nothing was done. So this is still, again, that's still good. That's still good law.